to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
How's it going? I'm Willie Spears. I'm so excited today. We have an amazing show for you. We have the one and only Chip Baker. And if you do it, he does it better. I'm talking coaching, speaking, big time guy in his community. Unbelievable. Does great things down there in Houston and down there in Texas and all over the world. We're also doing today by Garrett Carter. He's a coach as well. But today's show is exciting because it hits me in my sweet spot. I spent 20 years in coaching from Little League all the way to the Division I level. And there was a lot of things in coaching that we never talked about. We never talked about our emotional health. We never talked about our emotional well-being. So today, we're going to talk about that exact topic. This new book, The Path for Coaches, Volume 2, Emotional Intelligence. It's very hypocritical of us to touch on all the physical things that do with sports, but neglect the emotional side of it. And so today we're going to jump right into that. Chip, welcome to the show. Garrett, it's so good to see you. How you guys doing today?
Man,
great. Doing great, Willie. Thank you so much for having us and taking the time to pour into us and help us share the mission.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to start with you, Coach Baker. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why this project is so important to you.
Yeah, so I'm Coach Chip Baker, fourth-generation educator, teacher, former coach. Blessed and fortunate to be raised by some great people, have some good people around me to learn from. I started my YouTube channel and podcast, The Success Chronicles, about 9 years ago. And what I do is I just interview people from all walks of life and share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. A couple years after that, I started writing books. And to the date, this will make my 28th book. That's crazy.
Wait a minute. Most people watching this haven't read 28 books.
Facts.
And you've written 28 books?
Yeah, it's been written or been a part of 28 books, and man, like that part always gets me because I ain't grew up around people that wrote books, right? So that part always gets me, and I'm truly grateful for that. But I mean, it does two things for me. It allows me to remain humble because humble beginnings, right? But then it also, it excites me because it shows me that the possibilities are possible and bigger and better things can be done too. And so I'm just grateful for that. And man, now what I do is I'm just striving to make a positive impact in the world by speaking, traveling, doing books, collaborating with others. And, now I tell people I coach the coaches, right?
Yeah.
And so
let's talk about the stereotype real quick. When I think coach, just being honest, I don't think author, right? I think a coach may write a book to tell his story about his life, but you're a jock, right? Brawn and your brains. Touch on that real quick. Do you think there are other coaches out there that has a book inside them that they have not fleshed out yet?
Oh, yeah. Every coach has a book inside them because they have a story, right? And your book is your story. And truth be told, Willie, if I could write in X's and O's and bullets, I would. But, thank God for technology. Thank God for editors. Thank God for help, to help me get it right, to make it right. And so, man, it's just been a blessing because, no success happens alone. I'm grateful to have a great team. And this is something that you always say to me. So I want to share this. When we collaborate with each other, you always say same team.
That's right, baby. Same team.
Same team, man. And so I'm grateful to have people on the team with me to help me.
All right, Coach Carter, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved in coaching, and tell us how you got involved with this project.
Yes, sir, man. Great to be here. I grew up out here in West Texas. My life was a little different. I could have benefited from a coach that took a chance on me. because of my upbringing, I was just lost. I was a kid that was lost. I won't go all the way into my, my full testimony, but just being incarcerated as a kid before I even graduated, just around the drugs and the violence that's at home. I didn't know how to process what I was dealing with, and to have that help from a coach just truly could have helped. So I didn't learn from that. I ended up being incarcerated after high school again, just going to the federal system for 4 years. And then just staying mentally in a spot that just held me down for so long. So I started youth coaching because I was prideful and egotistical, and I thought that I could change the world on my own. And I was gonna do this, and look what I'm doing for these kids, and look what I'm doing for my community. And that led me into just a long road that was really just destruction. I ended up losing both of my legs. I'm on prosthetic legs now. And again, it was just pride, things that I got through on my own because I wasn't trained well and coached well on how to be a good man and how to get over things. And during all this process, man, I hit the end of it. I was gonna take my life. I didn't have a God in my life. 37 years of being on my own. The identity was me and thinking I could get through it on my own. And from the barrel of a gun being in my mouth, man, I picked up a Bible and showed up at church the next day, and I gave my life to Christ, and everything changed for me. And for the last 2 years, I'm the youth outreach director for one of the biggest churches here in Odessa. I've worked for FCA the last 2 years. We just had our first board meeting, so I just stepped into the first FCA sports role here in the Permian Basin. So I'm going to launch that and get that going. And my heart is truly kids, man. But how I got connected with Chip was dealing with men that don't have insecurities, and they made a phone call and said, "Hey, I got somebody to meet you." And this guy, his name's Tiki Davis. He's here in Odessa. You let him tell it. He was colder than Booby anyway.
Hey,
But man,
I know Tiki. Tiki does not lack in confidence.
Yeah. No, no, but man, that's my guy. And Chip was just traveling through. He was at Saul Ross on his way back, and he was gonna stop and talk to Tiki. And man, Tiki called me and said, "Hey, I got somebody I want you to meet. Come up here to the restaurant." And I was able to meet Chip through Tiki. And I also told him a little bit about my story and where my heart is for the youth. But my heart's not only that, it's reaching coaches that possibly have a kid that was like me, that it's easy to let the politics just involve that kid and let him hurt himself and end up a statistic, instead of showing up and having that emotional intelligence to do extra and be extra. So man, it's just such an honor to get to be around both of you guys, and to get to be a part of this book and this project. I'm grateful, and man, it's only a God thing for me. I don't have 20 years coaching experience. I've been coaching for 8 years, and my heart is the youth. Everything I have, I give to them, and it's just God's allowed basketball to be a ministry for me, so He keeps opening more and more doors.
Amen, brother. I know basketball season is starting, man, and I had a coach one time that says, "What are you going to do when the ball stops bouncing?" And it sounds like to me, you're preparing guys for life after basketball by using something they love, basketball, man. So I think that's great. Hey, boy, Chip is a recruiter of men. I'm telling you, anywhere he goes, he's going to find men who are like-minded and bring them in and work with them and help them better themselves. We believe that when iron sharpens iron, we both get much better in that way. So it says a lot about you. I want you to do this for me, though, Chip. Define emotional intelligence. A lot of people hear those words, but what does that mean to be emotionally intelligent? And to be honest, man, we're coaches. Would that make me soft? Like if I'm tapping into the emotional side, like how can I coach hard? How can I say, you take that charge? Like I'm working with a basketball team now, girls, and I put them on this tackling dump, the little round circle, and we pulled it like a tire tug because we too soft. Like they're sweet girls, they're really nice, they're very mannerable. The problem is they act that way on the court. They're sweet, nice, and mannerable on the court. right? So how can I get that dog? How can I have that dog in me and talk about my emotional intelligence? Like, what is emotional intelligence?
You know, for me, I love the analogy that you gave, but for me, emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize and understand the emotions in yourself and others, right? I think the word that comes up for me is awareness, right? Now, I think we all of that stuff that you talk, yeah, we still want to have that, right? But we want to make sure that we have the awareness to understand how our actions based on our emotions affect ourselves and affect others, right? And when we can learn to manage that, right? I just usually give you prime example. You know, we've all been around coaches, you know, or someone that just like out of their head, right? It's just like you're like, man, like he can't know that he is doing that, right? Like he cannot have an idea that he is acting that way, right? Like, and you're thinking that, but but the thing is, man, we have to have a lid on that because our actions influence and affect others on a day-to-day basis. And the bigger picture is our actions and not having the awareness, man, it can give us opportunities or it can take opportunities away from us. So I think that that's kind of what comes up for me when we talk about the definition, just awareness.
Awesome. So I'm a coach, right? So I'm a coach and I'm hearing about this. Why do I need this resource? Right. So, for your point of view, Coach Carter, if you had a buddy, a coach on your staff, a JV, a little league, a high school, a college coach, and I'm asking you the question, why do I need a book about emotional intelligence? How is that going to help me on my path in coaching?
If I had a friend ask me that, I would first ask them, what areas of your life are you actually trying to get better in, and why would this not be one of them? Why would this, as you strive to be a better man every day, we should all be reading and researching and looking up to people and taking good things from every situation and taking that into our armor, our artillery that we take, from situation to situation. So I would encourage you to, if you're not there where you're in a position where you're questioning things like this, I don't think it's healthy to even want to question good things. Like, this is good. This is something that's going to help me in my career, not only as a coach, but as a man. And then once you really dive into it, you're able to see different perspective, different testimony. And I think you truly get to break down. It becomes personal with the kids that are in your life, because as you read these words, you start placing like their pictures, their faces start popping up in your head, and you're thinking like, man, maybe I didn't do this right. So this book is not only going to help me become a better coach, but a better man, which is going to lead to being a better father, a better husband, a better role model, a better leader, all these things that men should strive to be anyway. And what's sad is that the lack of discipline in a lot of men is what keep them the same. There is no game plan when we wake up to attack our 24 hours. And I like what Chip said, having the lack of emotional intelligence, you can lose things and people and situations and opportunities from not being emotionally intelligent and emotionally present in that situation. And once you start losing places for kids to play, or you start losing players or coaches to help or refs to help, it's truly an opportunity and a time you check yourself, and you have people around you to hold you accountable for your life. So yeah, just to answer your question, I think that just as men and as businessmen and career driven men, and not just men at all, women, anybody that's coaching and leading, I think it's a great opportunity to search yourself and have this also be a tool that you have in your life just to grow you. And I think we should all have those tools close, on the nightstand per se. It's in arm's reach that these tools help us at any moment. But not only for us, it's the fruit that we can pass on to others as well.
Well said, Coach. I think it's very hypocritical of us as coaches if we're asking our players to do everything they can to get better, right? So just don't work on, like if you're a basketball coach, if your left hand is weak, we need you to work on your left hand when you're not here. If your conditioning is weak, we need you to work on conditioning when you're not here. So we'll be very hypocritical as coaches, asking players to do everything they can to get better, but we're not doing everything we can to get better. I believe in our society, especially in the South, coaches have too much influence. They shouldn't have this much influence. It should be the pastor or the parent or maybe the police officers or maybe even the politicians or the pastors. But the coaches have more influence than anyone. I think it was Billy Graham who said a coach will impact more lives in 1 year than most people will their entire lifetime. That's a lot of influence. And so if we're going to have that much influence, we got to work on ourselves. We got to do a better job of working on ourselves. And this is what I know. I'm going to keep it a buck. The greatest coaches have tackled and mastered emotional intelligence. If you look at John Wooden, he won 11 championships. John Wooden won 11 championships. If you're watching this coach, he's a better coach than you. He's better than you. And emotional intelligence is part of his toolbox. Phil Jackson used to have his NBA players sit Indian style. He would read to them and meditate with them. He understood emotional intelligence. Newsflash, Phil Jackson is a better basketball coach than you. So I say that to say you can win and embrace emotional intelligence. I'm telling you, my coaching career, man, I studied guys like Fisher DeBerry in football, guys like Tony Dungy, guys like Bobby Bowden, guys like Tom Osborne, guys like Mark Rick. These are guys who understood emotional intelligence and they won. So I just want to let coaches know I'm excited about getting this resource. I will give this resource out to several people. Chip, you got my word right here, baby, right here on the podcast. I'm going to get 10 books and give them to people because I believe this resource is that powerful and we need it. All right. Last thing before we get out of here, Chip, to the coach out there that know they need this, but they don't know how to articulate it the way that you do. Is there any way that you would go visit a school? Like if I'm an athletic director, I was an AD at 3 different schools. If I'm an AD, could I bring you in to talk to my coaches about this and maybe go through the book with them about this?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love to be able to share the tools. Like Coach said, it's really tools for your toolkit. And so, that's my thing. I coach coaches now, and so break down the tools to show the needs, the weaknesses that we don't even know that we have, right? Because I've been a coach, I've been in the trenches, and looking back, man, I wish I would have had this tool. Because it would have made me a better person, not just a better coach, but a better person. And so, man, I would love the opportunity to be able to pour into coaches and share these tools for sure.
Awesome. My favorite thing about this resource is for coaches by coaches, right? Yeah. So we have coaches talking coaching language. I love John Maxwell. Right, I love all these great guys out there that have great leadership, great principles, great pastors, great leaders. But a coach knows how to talk to a coach, and so I'm excited about getting this resource and myself digesting it, getting it out. And Chip, you know me, baby. I'm the master plagiarist, baby. Once I read it, it becomes mine. I'm gonna say, "Oh, let me tell you about emotional intelligence." People gonna think I'm smart after I finish reading this resource, man. So I'm excited about it. Chip, tell us where we can get the resource and tell us how we can help other people magnify the opportunity to dive into emotional intelligence.
Yeah, man. So. Bam!
Man, here we go. Here we go.
Okay. Wanted to show you the book. This is the first printed copy. I just got this yesterday. Man, and so here's the book, man. There's the authors. But The Path for Coaches Volume 2 on Amazon. Check it out. We can check out our social media. My social media is at Chip Baker TSC. Have the link on there. But as you look through it, I ask that you would check out the authors that's in the book, right? Go check out their social media and see the amazing things that they're doing to make our world better. And we'd love to get you signed copies by reaching out to us in that manner.
Right. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Success Chronicles. We want you to pick up Emotional Intelligence. It's a great book, The Path for Coaches, Volume 2, Emotional Intelligence. You need this resource. Add this tool to your toolkit. Keep up the great work and keep adding value to the lives of young people. We need you, but we need our coaches to be the best version of themselves. And this is one way to continue doing that. You guys keep making a difference in the lives of others. And thank you so much for tuning in to TSC, the Success Chronicles.
Go get it.